DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This video here, I want to talk about focus, keeping your focus straight ahead. And a lot of people ask me about focusing, not just because, not only because of the myriad distractions we have in our lives today. Talking, of course, we got social media, you got YouTube. Unless your full-time job is YouTube, watching YouTube videos can be a distraction for you. Unless you're watching something that's actually going to help you, like this video right here. Instagram and tweeting, whatever other social media, Snapchat, whatever else you're using, checking your email when you're supposed to be working, watching TV when you're supposed to be working out, being on your phone or hanging with your friends when you're supposed to be sleeping so you can get up early the next day, sleeping in because you stayed up late the previous night. There are all kind of things that can distract us from our definite chief aim in life, whatever that is for you. And we all have different aims. Some of us don't have an aim, don't have a goal, but I hope to help you with that through more of these videos and my podcast, my books, and other things that I put out, which if you don't know about them, you need to go to my website down in the video description. You need to find out about them. But here I'm gonna give you 3 points here about keeping your focus straight ahead as best you can, because the better you can keep your focus on what you're doing, the higher probability you're giving yourself of being successful. Because just because you're focused on something does not mean you will succeed at it. Like if I focused on playing golf for all of 2019, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be a good golfer. If you focus on something that you don't really have the skills for, or the time is not right, or you haven't put enough time in yet, that's not going to make you successful, even if you are 100% focused. But if you are less than 100% focused, then I guarantee you will not get the full return on your investment for whatever energy and focus you do put into the things that you do. So that's what I'm going to explain here. 3 things about keeping your focus straight ahead at all times. Point number 1, and this is the most, if you only take one thing from this video, you take one thing from anything that you heard me say regarding focus and staying away from distractions. Because understand, distractions only exist when you're looking at it. Like I could be distracted by the cars outside, or the water, or whatever I think is going on my phone where I'm recording on my phone right now. I could be distracted by any of those things, but they're not distractions unless I pay attention to them. You understand? So distractions always exist. You can't eliminate distractions. All you do is find your focus. So point number 1, you only remember one thing. Here it is. Stop paying attention to what other people are doing. Stop thinking about, worrying about, talking about, asking about what other people are doing when you're supposed to be focusing on you in that time. Now, are there times to look at somebody else and maybe you can learn from them? Maybe you can steal something from them. Maybe you're in competition with them. Yes, of course. All right, so in a vacuum, I'm not saying never look at anybody else. And you might have a kid that you need to pay attention to at some point, a husband, a wife, a teacher, a boss, whatever, customers. I'm talking about the times that you're supposed to be spending on you. Stop focusing on other people. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing and thinking about that and reacting and responding to everything going on outside of you, and focus on you, your business, your products, your job, your career, your whatever it is you got going on. Focus on that more than you focus on anybody else. Because I guarantee they're not focusing on you as much as you think they are. That's the number 1 key, is to not pay so much attention to what anybody else is doing. I don't care who they are. They better than you, worse than you, equal to you. Pay attention to you. It'll pay off more for you to focus on you than for you to focus on anybody else. Point number 2, when you do, and this is the reason why point number 1 is number 1, when you do start looking at other people and what they're doing and thinking about that, and then you got to react to that, and then you might change your whole strategy because somebody else is doing something that you weren't thinking of. All it's doing is distracting you from the focus that you already had. It's distracting you from the strategy that you already had in place and things that you would have done had you not lost your focus. And understand, if you look at this person and they're doing something that looks good, like that shiny object syndrome is what we call it in business. You see this shiny object over here, so you start looking at that. Now you're changing your whole thing up. Then you see another shiny object over here, because there's another person over there. There's another person on Twitter. There's another person on IG. There's another person on Snap. Another person got a YouTube video. Another person lives down the block. Another person's around the corner. And then somebody told you about somebody you never heard of, and you're chasing all these shiny objects. You can't catch any of them. All it's doing is distracting you from your goal. Because if you could be distracted from that, from what you're doing by what somebody else is doing, I guarantee you there's going to be another somebody else tomorrow, and another somebody else after that, and another somebody else after that. So put your focus on you. Make sure you got the right strategy. I mean, if you don't have a strategy, you don't know what you're doing, go get some help. But once you have your strategy in place, focus on the strategy and don't be distracted by the shiny objects in the form of what anybody else is doing, because there will always be another one. Point number 3, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know where you're going. You got to know what your aims are. You have to have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy and you don't have a goal, you don't have anything to focus on, of course your focus is always going to be off. So you need to get clear on what am I doing, how am I doing it, when, where, why, all of that. You need to know exactly what those things are so you have something to put your focus on. If you don't have anything to focus on, of course, there's always going to be, everything's a shiny object to you. A fucking squirrel running by could be a shiny object to you. A bird, a pigeon, it could be shiny object. It's a sunny day, it's a rainy day, it's cold outside, somebody cough. Anything could distract you because you don't have a focus you don't have anything to even focus on in the first place. You don't have anywhere to direct your attention. So you got to get clear on what's my strategy, what are my goals, how am I going to go about this? If you do not know how to do those things, if you have questions about those things, you have challenges about those things, you got to get some help. You got to find someone who has been where you are, who is doing what you want to do or has already done it, or who you feel has the knowledge to help you, and you need to get in touch with them or read their books or take up their services or buy their products, whatever you need to do to get the right information in place. And the right information does not mean all the information. It means the right information. And I'm going to talk about that in a later video also on my podcast. It's called Work on Your Game. If you didn't know I had a podcast called Work on Your Game, there's 1,000 episodes of it out already. So I'm taking a lot of the concepts I've talked about in podcasts and doing them on video. If you want to hear all of those in more depth than I'm even doing here in these videos, then go to my podcast. That's where you'll get the full something that'll be 4 or 5 times longer than this video. But anyway, let me recap the points that I gave you here. We're talking about keeping your focus straight ahead. Number one, stop paying attention to what other people are doing, because there'll always be another person for you to pay attention to. I don't care who they are, how good they look, how smart they are, how much money they make or claim to be making. There'll always be somebody else for you to look at if you're doing that. So stop looking at other people. Number two, when you start looking at other people, all it does is throw your focus off, because like as I just said, there's always going to be another one. You'll never be able to maintain focus if you can be so easily thrown off by what is going on to the left of you, the right of you, above you, beneath you, in front of you, behind you. Pay attention to what's going on right here, right now, because it's the only place you can be is right here, right now at all times. And point number three, you got to have a strategy, have a goal, have a focus, have a plan, have an aim, know where you're going, know what you're doing. If you don't have a strategy in place, listen, I got things that can help you depending on what it is you're working on. Maybe I can, maybe I can't help you, but you need to identify who can help you and focus on what you're going to learn from that person. Know what you need from that person, get what you need, and then get back to your mission of focusing on you. Okay, don't put so much focus on them that you forget to get back to the main thing, which is focusing on number one, which is yourself. All right, I don't care how smart, how many products they got. You need certain things, know what you need, get what you need, get out of there, and then get back to doing your business. Again, you want to hear more depth and detail on all this stuff that I talk about when it comes to the mental game, business, sports, how all this stuff applies together. My podcast is called Work on Your Game. It's every single day. Well, we did 3 days a week for January, February of 2019. Starting March 1st, it's going to be every single day again. We already got 1,000 episodes, so if you ain't heard all 1,000, or you got a question that I have not addressed in video, or you can't find it, I guarantee you it was on my podcast. So go look it up. Y'all know my name, Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Work on your game. My book, Work on Your Game, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate in business, sports, and life, is available now where all books are sold, physical, digital, and of course the audio book, 100% done by me. If you have learned from these philosophies, the mental game, business, sports, life, anything you do, this is the book for you. Go get it now and work on your game. Dre all day.